Hey guys, Matt here, and today I have returned to r/today I forked up for some more stories. But before I get into the stories, I just really want to note something on for this particular month. For some reason, there is a lot of not safe for work posts. Some of them I don't even know how. I can't do anything about that. Here's what I found that's not in that category, that's safe for work. Let's start off with the first one. Today I forked up by finding out what my 8-year-old son was saving for. Before we start this, I want to tell everyone this is a happy today I forked up. When I was 16 years old, I was stupid. I didn't wear protection, and I gotta go. Really? First sentence. I was shocked. I never expected having a kid that early, and I don't know if I regret it or not. Almost all of my regrets washed away when my son was born. For privacy purposes, we will call him Rory. I am 24 now, and my son is 7, almost 8 now. He is the smartest and most loving kid I could ever ask for. His mum had left when he was around 2. And when I tried to sue for child support, the judge sided with her, quoting that I was the father and needed to step up. Ever since then, it's been me and Rory against the world. I was a single dad to Rory from then on. I had a few girlfriends, but nothing serious. I left my parents' place and got a small apartment. I dropped out of high school, which I immensely regret. But hey, life happens. During this time, my neighbours, God bless them, helped me raise my son. They were an older couple next door whose kids had moved out long before, so they were fine babysitting him after school, late shifts, etc. I'm a manager at McDonald's. I make lousy money, but it was enough to get by. Then 2 years prior, a shitty building manager raised the rent for everyone, and I had to work even harder for a place to live during a pandemic. My parents had left the state, and I wasn't ready to uplift my kids my entire life because my dad couldn't provide for them. Every birthday since before he was 3, I believe, I took Rory to Golden Coral, usually on his birthday, but there were more occasions we went. It was really good for him, and he really enjoyed it. I haven't been able to take him for the past 2 years due to money being very tight. This is important for later. Sometimes I would get tipped at McDonald's, a quarter here, a dime there, a dollar here and there. I'll bring it to him every day and give it to Rory to save. Well, 2 days ago, Rory brings me his money jug and dumps it all out in front of me. He was so excited and began counting it out. There was around $40 there, and he jumped up excitedly. I had asked him, "What's up, little buddy?" When I tell you, guys, my heart broke. My son asked me if it was enough to go to the corral for his birthday. A piece of me shattered inside. I didn't think he remembered the Golden Corral. I told him we couldn't go to the bank tomorrow and exchange it for cash. That night, I ugly cried in my bedroom. I felt like a failure because I couldn't give him everything he ever wanted. I began researching furthering my education. Well, yesterday, as soon as the bank opened, I took my son and we exchanged the money for cash. I then drove us to Golden Corral and we were there for 2 hours. My kid was so happy, and I was stupid because I assumed he forgot this place. We get the all-you-can-eat buffet for 2 for $30. Today I cried again in my room. I've never been good at saving money, but his birthday is next month and I'm going to do my best to take him every few months. So other parents have read it. Can I ask some advice of how you deal with the guilt of having to say no? Again, this is a happy TIFU. Whew. Okay. But that's an interesting start. I am not a parent, I don't have much to add here. Today I forked up by watching Netflix on my girlfriend's iPad while I was gaming. Obligatory, this was not today, but 4 years ago. But reading similar posts reminded me of a situation I found myself in. As the title says, I, a 26 male, had a day off, and my girlfriend, 26 years old at the time, now my wife, but I digress, was working, so I booted up the Xbox for some me time and figured I'd throw a background show up on the iPad for some background noise. Just ADHD things, am I right? Anyways, while playing, I kept noticing Facebook Messenger notices from this one guy popping up. It was not really a huge deal. She had never given me reason to not trust her, and we both have friends of the opposite sex that are purely platonic friendships. But something he said in one of the message previews caught my eye, and I snooped against my better judgment. It was quickly apparent that this guy was thirsting after her, and while she didn't respond with anything I would consider outright cheating, she also didn't try to put a stop to it. The things he was saying to her, telling her if her was alone with, if he was alone with her, he didn't know if he could hold himself back despite her having a boyfriend. Reminiscing about their history, he was an ex who lived in another state. She had moved from. I later found out. And encouraging her to leave me and go see him to hook up when we were to be vacationing in that state a few months later made my blood boil. I wanted to get a plane ticket, find this guy, and beat the ever-loved short out of him. I distinctly remember trying to calm myself down with a nice shower at one point, thinking of what he was saying to her, and getting so upset I punched the tile so hard she thought I had fallen over. Again, she wasn't the one saying the stuff. Her responses were usually short, and sometimes she would try to change the subject, but she also wouldn't shut it down. I didn't know how to approach it because, obviously, I had breached her trust by reading the messages in the first place, but their relationship was not okay if we're going to continue being together. I casually asked her about him once, and she described him as just an old friend, which was a lie, and I knew it, but I didn't drag anything more out of her. For months I stewed over it, to the point I considered ending things with her. I started looking for solid evidence of her cheating on me, but I knew that wasn't fair to her, as she wasn't the one fully responsible, and again, she never took things too far on her end. I finally reached a breaking point. We lived together, but every time I saw her, all I could think about were the messages. My mood would sour, she would ask me what's wrong, and I would say nothing, which was making her suspicious of me. Finally, after several months of anxiety and anger, which was beginning to hurt our relationship, I broke down and came clean. She admitted the true nature of their past relationship, and that she knew it was too far, but she didn't want to lose a friendship. She promised to set boundaries with him, and when he continued to break those boundaries, she inevitably ended her friendship with him altogether, which was certainly a show of good faith on her part. I learned that the best thing you can do in a relationship is have difficult conversations and avoid snooping anymore, as I realized she clearly put me first. Sometimes dudes are just gonna be horn dogs. We have been married a couple of years now, and we both continue to grow together. While this was a positive outcome, the months of panic attacks, anger, and generally poor mental health were trying and very nearly ended an otherwise healthy relationship. TLDR, watching Netflix on the girlfriend's iPad, saw concerning messages from an ex, and mentally tortured myself for months before finally confronting it. I don't know how I would respond if I saw that come up. It's like, on one hand, yes, you don't want to be like, yes, I was looking at your messages on Facebook. But on the other hand, you sort of need to address that. Today I forked up by going to someone's apartment on the first date. A few weeks ago, I, a 29-year-old female, matched with a girl, a 30-year-old female, who I'll refer to as Amy on a dating app. We hit it off well and soon moved to texting. After some spicy text exchanges, we planned a date for the coming weekend that included dinner and spending the night together doing all the things we talked about. Prior to the day, we had a discussion about things that were important to us in a relationship. Amy told me that she was okay with me being non-religious and her being Jewish, but she did want me to respect her religion and take some interest in it. However, she did not expect me to convert. I agreed that this sounded completely reasonable, and this will be important later. The day of the date comes. I meet up with her, and we go up to her apartment, where I am immediately greeted by her Yorkie. And by greeted, I mean the thing would not stop charging and barking at me. This continued throughout the entire time I was there, and would get even more intense anytime I got up to move. All was going fine-ish until after dinner. We decided to play Mario Kart, and after Amy realized I was very good at it, she demanded I unlock all the tracks for her while she sat back and watched. When I said no because I didn't want to sit there and awkwardly play video games by myself, she proceeded to have what felt like the beginning of a minor meltdown. A while after Amy composed herself, she brought up the topic of Judaism. It was then that she dropped the ultimatum that I needed to convert to conservative Judaism or else she wouldn't marry me. Amy then began to tell me that she believed interfaith marriages were basically ethnic cleansing. Oh. This was entirely contradictory to what she had told me before the date, and needless to say, I was done. At this point, it was already past 1 AM, so I decided to stay and leave immediately in the morning, because I wasn't comfortable driving around that late at night. Seriously, DMV drivers are crazy enough in the daytime. So bedtime comes and I go into her room to find it reeks of dog pee and perfume. Turns out she's too lazy to take a crazy Yorkie on walks, so she just lets it pee on puppy pads and covers up the stench with perfume. Oh, I go to bed, disappointed that nothing went as planned that night. The next morning, which also happens to be my birthday, I wake up at around 8 AM. She's still fast asleep, but I can't get up or else the dog will go nuts. She sleeps in until nearly 11 AM, so I'm laying there for hours, unable to move, hungry and needing to pee. As soon as she's up, I start packing my stuff and get the hell out of there. But not before the dog bites me on the upper calf. Oh. I get home and check my dating profile to see she unmatched me. No major loss there. We had discussed ghosting before the date, and she told me how much it happened to her. Gee, I wonder why. So I decided to do the right thing and text her to let her know this isn't going to work out. She texts back and has the audacity to say that I'm the issue for things not working out. Screw me for not wanting to change a major part of myself to fit the mold of the type of wife she wants, right? So here I am on my birthday, reeking of whatever perfume she had sprayed all over her bed, noticing a dog bite on my leg, and not having the night I expected. Lesson learned: never go to somebody's home on a first date. At the very least, my birthday improved after that. I invited my best friend over, where we laughed over my crazy first date story and ate chocolate cake. Then for dinner, I made myself a pork chop, and with a butter sauce out of pure spite. That's right. Update. I went to the doctor and they gave me a tetanus shot and antibiotics. I was able to contact Amy and she was at least cooperative enough to send the dog's vaccination documents. So no rabies shot for me. I realise now how forked up it was to stick around on that date as long as I did, but that's why we're here, isn't it? It was definitely a big fork up on my part, and I won't be that patient with someone again. TLDR, my date gave me the convert to my religion or we can't get married ultimatum on the first date. I was stuck in my home the entire night, her dog bit my leg, and I didn't get laid. That's right, Judaism doesn't allow eating of meat, doesn't it? Does it allow same-sex marriage though? I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about Judaism, so I'm gonna just step back, end the episode here. Links will be in the description to the main channel and the second channel for you guys to go check out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know next week comes out. A ding, a ding. I'm the Mad Scientist,